Eberly stock Romad. If you're trying to figure out if this bag, which recently came back in stock, is going to be worth it, let me give you my bottom line up front from a video for which Eberly stock or Eberly stock sent me the bag, but they're not paying for the content. It's totally worth it. There's about one bag I will put above this when it comes to using it for both everyday carry and rucking. I use this primarily as a rucking setup. It's very comfortable. It has a lot of functionality, but that's kind of like my recommendation. Go forth, make great purchases, have a good day, all that good stuff. But if you want to know more about the specs, more about my pros and cons specifically about this bag, then stick around. Eberly stock, veteran founded, a lot of influence in their products, obviously comes from vets, comes from a lot of field use, a lot of practical implementations of their gear. This is one of those bags. Let me just tell you some of my cons. Unfortunately, for this bag, I have tested a Mystery Ranch 2-day assault pack, and I've also tested a GoRuck GR2. Both of those are significantly, or maybe not significant, that's a very strong adverb. They're more comfortable for me. This is a subjective thing than this bag. Now, that doesn't mean that this bag is not comfortable. It just means that when you're a mile and a half into a ruck or something similar to that, there are certain components of this bag you can begin to feel. If you have anything in the lower back, if you have anything that's not properly weighed out in the bag, you're going to feel the stuff that's inside, okay? So, if you're trying to figure out, hey, do I go get a bullet ruck? Do I go get a GR1, a GR2, maybe a 26 liter or 20 liter or whatever? Do I go get a 2-day assault pack? Any of that type of stuff from any of their competitors. If you're going off straight comfort, I'm 6'2", I'm 235 pounds, trying to drop some weight. If you're similar dimensions, and I have relatively broad shoulders, you're gonna know that for me, I would say number one on my list would be the 2-day assault pack from Mystery Ranch. Number two on my list would be the GoRuck GR2, specifically the Dyneema. Now, that doesn't mean that this bag's not comfortable. All right, so that's one thing. Number two, the zipper pulls need more differentiation, okay? I can't tell you how many times I went to open up the main compartment of this bag and I've opened up the top pocket, or I've opened the radio portion. Well, those zipper pulls are a little bit different, but the zipper pulls just need a little bit more differentiation. So if you're absent-mindedly opening up a part of this bag, you will 100% get it right, okay? And there are times when you're at a coffee shop, you're talking to someone, you're trying to fidget or whatever, you're trying to open it back, get inside, you will open up the wrong part. First world problem, something to mention. Next con. This has to be a con for any bag that's in this range, this kind of like range. For me, it's too tactical. Now, I'm saying it's a con. This bag was sent to me, but because of the way it looks, I wouldn't have bought it because of how tactical it looks. But because I own it, it's so tactical, I don't feel comfortable reflexively grabbing this bag for everyday carry as I would for other bags or something similar to that. So because of that, I do tend to use other bags for everyday carry purposes, whereas this bag might be great for, both of those, but it doesn't really work out for that. Next, it does have cord keepers. You can see it right there, right? For the cables or whatever. But this is also a first world problem. The cable keeps they rub on your inside arm. Okay, I know that this can be solved with electrical tape. I know you can wrap those up, but the cable keeps use Velcro. I think they should just use a cinch or a grab and not Velcro. The Velcro definitely rubs on the inside of your arm. If you're not wearing long sleeve, first world problem, just letting you know. Okay, that's where my cons list ends. The pros. In a vacuum, you've never tried any of those other bags, this bag is super comfortable, okay? As beefy as the shoulder straps are, the way that the makeup of this bag is when it comes to the different compartments, the air mesh on the back, or the way it kind of just like pulls moisture away from your bag, you can feel it. Feels super good. The actual bladder keeper, Oh, that thing's great. Not only does it have an area for your bladder or your radio, tons of bags have to put your actual bladder inside, but small things to keep the bladder from moving, shifting left and right. Some bags don't have that. This one has it, and I can really appreciate that. It includes a chest cinch. I like the GoRuck GR2, but you don't get a chest cinch with the GoRuck GR2. And in order to keep the weight high off my lower back, I prefer a chest cinch. I don't want to have to make an extra purchase. This one's good. It's easy to adjust if you need to. It's well done, all that good stuff. Look at all the attachment points on the shoulder straps. This bag is designed for somebody that's carrying comms. I don't carry comms with this bag. However, just so many different attachment points. This by far is my bag that has the most attachment points of any bag that I own. So convenient. So I can run clips for cameras. I can run flashlights on here. I can run my bladder. I can run basically snacks, a radio. Sometimes I'll strap a radio on here. It's just very convenient for that type of stuff. The compartments, so many different compartments. The front compartment is a floating padded compartment. So if you want to put something important in that front pocket, you can do so. And it has just that much more protection up there, which I can appreciate. The bag, other than how tactical it looks in a vacuum, it looks really good. Great looking bag. Tons of compliments when I do take this on an everyday carry type of stuff versus just simply rucking with it. It looks really good, okay? So very easy recommendation for stuff like that. It does have outboard water bottle pockets. Now, sounds like a small thing, right? But stuff from VanQuest, GoRuck. Some of the competitors are just missing these outboard water bottle pockets, some 511 and stuff like that. Or if they have the water bottle pockets, they can't handle a Nalgene size bottle. This one can do it, okay? It's very good at stuff like that. Plenty of room here. Your water bottles or whatever you want to put on there. This is the padded pocket I was talking about right here. This is a very good pocket because it's floating. So it's not actually touching the ground, but it's just a little bit of padding up here. This pocket up here, very beneficial because you can throw something you want to get quick access to, like a headlamp or whatever. You can put your identification on the front if you're a part of a team, or you can just put REs up here. Now, I do say some of the zipper pulls are different, as in this zipper pull has a loop. These zipper pulls are like this material, but they're different because I changed these zipper pulls out. Beforehand, all the zipper pulls were exactly the same. Now, when I touch it, I know that I'm grabbing this pocket. For this, I know that I'm grabbing the main compartment when I grab this zipper pull. And the bag is super easy to put on, take off. It's so crazy because Plano, I live in Plano, Texas. Along our trails, we put hemp, which is a super dangerous plant right there. Super dangerous wildflower, right? But it was so beautiful when we put it in. We put it in with our wildflowers. We found out it was dangerous to humans. Now we're doing stuff like this. Plano is purposely having to put down killer, trying to get rid of the hemp. I've been living here 4 years. It has been a 4-year struggle because the shit keeps coming back all of the time. So super dangerous stuff. All right, guys. So 6'2", 235 pounds. Let me show you what the row mat looks like if you're going to be rocking this bad boy on your back. Now, the way I have this packed out, it's not necessarily a self-standing bag. I think you could make it self-standing, but it does have like a rigid panel in the background a little bit. Plus, and it kind of just makes it a little bit off, but it's not to the point where it's annoying. You know, a lot of times I take this off, I'm leaning against a tree, I'm leaning against an object, I'm doing anything like that, and it makes life just that much easier, but very well made. I'll put the specs on the screen because I think it is using a 500D. I don't know if it's Cordura, if it's branded, but it is definitely just really feels really good. This mesh in the back, This stuff is what I'm talking about when I say the padding. This padding, you got to kind of see it. It's just this is what you feel when it feels like it's moisture wicking. It leaves a little bit of like an air chamber right here, which makes it very comfortable. Here we are with the back of the bag here. Now it does have, it doesn't have the ability to have a waist belt on it. If you want something like that, you're going to want to look for a different bag because it's not going to be your solution. But I don't think you need one because the chest cinch is so well done. If you wear this high on your shoulders and you use the chest cinch, you'll probably be fine. All those straps, as I mentioned earlier, plenty of those for you to attachment points. You also have these attachment points throughout the bag. So carabiners, different straps that you can buy if you want to figure out how to compress it down. Cinches on the side for the water bottle pockets so that you can make them bigger and smaller as you see fit. So I have this one cinched down, right? Because there's no water bottle in there right now. And then the other one is decompressed, so I can put stuff inside of there. The very subtle branding. You have Romad right here, which you can barely see. So it's not in your face branding all over the place. And let's just talk about this front pocket. Like I said, plenty of room up here. If you want to put a larger item, behind it is another slip pocket. So in here, I normally keep my filler. This is my filler for my bladder. So that way I can fill the bladder without taking it out of my, out of the bag. I can just use a water hose, fill it back up. It makes life a lot easier, especially if I know it's clean and it's good to go. So I usually keep that in there, and I'll keep a scarf in here, which I'll sometimes wrap around my head. My locks are a little bit too big for baseball caps sometimes. I will wrap around this around my head for kind of blocking if it's a dusty day, high pollen, sunny day. So I used to keep these up here just for rucking purposes for this particular bag. This is a double zipped, okay? So zippers on both sides, so you can access that. This is double zipped as well. This is where I keep my next torch. This is the E-Star headlamp. This is it has red, it has SOS, it has high, low, medium, very easy light to use. It's not hard to use this at all. I like this, very just quick, pull it out, put it on my head, rock and roll, no Velcro on that, so I don't have to worry about anything getting caught up on my locks. It is another zipper pocket up here. These are the zipper pulls I had to change out. At least I think I'm pretty sure I changed these out. I don't think they come this way. And up here normally is where I keep my med kit. I have it right now in my chest pack, which I've already done a video on that, my Ebony stock chest pack for what I use for rucking. You can check that out. I'll link that up here or over here or down below so you can check it out as well. So the bag itself, if we look up here before I open it up, you have these little zippers, okay? These zippers are where you access the water bladder area, okay? This is the water bladder right here that I mentioned earlier. You will pull it out, or you can load whatever the hell you want put back there, but they give you small zippers on purpose. So if you feel these zippers, you know, hey, that's my water bladder. That is a piece of kit or whatever. No need for me to open that up. Right behind it are 4 zippers. And the reason they give you 4 zippers so that if your radio, right? So they give you 4 zippers up here. If your radio antenna is over here, then you can zip it in such a way that you can unzip it, right? You could zip it up and the antenna can still stick out. Or if the radio antenna is in the middle, you can unzip it and leave the antenna out or whatever. So they have different ways that you can configure this. That's why they give you 4 zippers right here. Or if you really just want to open it up and quickly access something from the very top, you could, but it's not really designed for that. It's really designed for a radio. But this is a complaint I had. The zipper pulls were so similar, I had to change it out. There's Molly all over this bag. I changed out this zipper. Now I can know exactly where the main compartment is because I changed the zippers out. Just showing you the capabilities of these zippers. Here's one thing that could be, it's not a con, but this is a missed opportunity. I think that they could have put a 4-track on here so that you can open this up from the side right here and you could have accessed stuff from the inside without having to go full open. But on this bag, you can do something like this, which is where you open it and you do sort of a half open, half clamshell. Now it's not self-standing. So if you do this, you have to be cautious of it flopping open, especially if you have stuff on the front up here. And then you can go full clamshell if you want to. So it just depends on how you pack this out. I have my little survival kit that I keep inside just in case to help for weight purposes. I usually bring a change of clothes with me. If I get super sweaty, I walk a certain distance. I want to go into a restaurant or get some coffee, and it's just like embarrassingly amount of sweat on there. I will step behind the building and change my shirt. I have no issues doing that. So I bring this for a change of clothes, usually socks and a shirt in here. And then what I could do is change, and it's mesh, so I could actually clip this to the outside of the bag. And while walking back, the mesh allows for my whatever shirt I took off the air to dry a little bit, or socks or whatever. So because I don't have my smaller med kit in here, I do have my bigger trauma kit in here. Now, this is overkill for this bag, but I wanted to have some type of med kit components in here just in case. Really, for me, if I were to get hurt and somebody needs to cut my garment off of me, I don't have to worry about them not having a knife, flashlight on here, full med kit. This is a really good, just comprehensive kit just in case I need it. Now, behind here in the bag itself, there is this pocket. This is where a laptop would go. If I didn't have this filled pocket by GoRuck up here, you could easily put a laptop back here. But I'm gonna remove the fill pocket, which is super inconvenient for me right now because I'm gonna have to put this thing back on later, but I wanna show you guys what the MOLLE looks like back here. So behind this is a bunch of MOLLE strips. I don't have to take it all the way off, great. MOLLE strips back here so you can attach whatever you want. I put a fill pocket by GoRuck in here, which is really designed to go with a GR1 or GR2. And this is where I put a blanket so I can sit down in sketchy areas or muddy areas or whatever. I also keep a quick drying towel just in case I get wet, raining, sweaty, whatever. I can use this. And then this is also where I would normally keep my mosquito repellent kit. It's on my chest pack right now, but this is where I normally would transfer that. I probably should get a second mosquito repellent kit and stop transferring it back and forth, but that's just what I'm doing right now. It's not that big of a deal. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. Over here is some internal storage, and this is where I keep the lid for my Grail titanium water bottle. And if I needed to, I could use this for cooking purposes. There's a low likelihood that will ever to happen, but my survival kit does have a way for me to start a fire. And then over here, another storage area, which I have nothing in. And then you just got all this area inside that you can keep stuff. Then you have MOLLE on this side that you can keep stuff. And then there's another little pocket back here, which is where I keep a Be Prepared pocket survival kit, which you can buy these pre-made on Amazon. These are some pretty decent kits for whatever the heck you're gonna think you're gonna need it for. These work really well for stuff like that. So that's kind of where this is. And let me put all this stuff back up and wrap up my final thoughts on this. So listen, I believe that Eberly Stock, I always get the name wrong, has hit a home run when it comes to this bag. If you're trying to find a dedicated rucking bag, a bag where you put in a field pouch, some rolled up clothes, maybe a survival kit, and it just stays static, stays put. You have time during your lunch period, you have time or anything like that where you can just throw it on and use it. Great bag for that, okay? Even for everyday carry stuff, works great for that. I don't use it for that. You know, I do prefer something that's a little bit more muted, especially from like Vertex, other bags from Eberly Stock, you know, stuff like that. But if you do need that versatility, you can't afford multiple bags, it still can work for you. I think that there's other things you can go with, but hey, comment down below. Have you been thinking about grabbing yourself a ROMAD? Do you already have one? Am I wrong? Something else to consider. For rucking purposes, the bags that I've tried out so far have been this bag, the GoRuck GR2 26 liter, specifically in the 2-day assault pack by Mystery Ranch. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.